What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. What is going on? Today is April 25th. It is Thursday, and it is 2:02 p.m. You know what? I forgot to close my door. I got to go close my door. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here we are. Yeah, so what is going on? Let's try that again. Why don't we go ahead and start over and do the intro again? Okay, ready, set, go. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR 365. Welcome to a brand new episode of a brand new show. Yeah, this is a YouTube show all about VR gaming and discussion and all that other shit. This is where we get into PC VR gaming, PlayStation VR gaming, Oculus Quest VR gaming, Valve Index VR gaming, Pimax, Windows Mixed Reality, Acer, Oho, row. Row your boat gently down the stream. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, folks. Let's start it off. So here's one thing I got to say, guys. Apologies to my Patreon supporters and my PayPal supporters, because I have not checked in the last maybe 2 days. I need to check Patreon, I need to check PayPal, and highlight anybody that maybe has donated in the last 24 hours, or anybody that has joined the Patreon. I haven't done that. Apologies, I'm a little bit late to getting here and doing this. I also did not get a chance to make a thank you to one of the Patreon people that I haven't thanked yet. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and thank the original Patreon supporter, my very first Patreon supporter. This is the bro. This is the bro of bros. And so, yeah, so let's go ahead and thank the originator. And that, of course, is our boy, Jesse Benson. Yes, Jesse Benson. When I started my Patreon, the very first person to jump on the bandwagon is my boy, Jesse Benson. And much love to Jesse out there. Much love to Benson. Because you know what? He's helped me out in a number of ways. This guy has he reached out to me a long time ago, and he's helped me out with VRGameRankings.com. No, seriously though. He's written a number of reviews. In fact, he's written about 3 more reviews that I still need to add to the website that I just keep forgetting to do that. So he's written a number of reviews. He's helped me out with a few other things as well. Much love to Jesse Benson. Ridiculous amounts of appreciation from me to you. I mean, I truly appreciate everything that you've done over all the time that I've known you so far. And the very first Patreon supporter. I mean, that is somebody that stepped up to the plate in a major way. So much love. Thank you so much, Jesse Benson. I absolutely appreciate it. And let's see here. What was I going to do? Hold on one second. I'm looking for something else. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. And so in celebration of our boy, Jesse Benson, let me go ahead and put up another image on the screen. And if I can find it, where is it? Now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Yeah. This is a little image that I made for my boy Jesse Benson a while back as well. Of course, that is Benson from The Regular Show, which is a really good cartoon. Some of the most amazing cartoon episodes I've ever seen were in this show. Some serious, hilarious ass shit that I really loved. My kids were into The Regular Show. I don't watch cartoons. There's great cartoons out there. I don't watch them, but my kids did. And they were watching this, and I happened to watch a couple episodes by osmosis, basically. And man, some hilarious, absolutely hilarious episodes. So thank you so much to Jesse Benson. I really appreciate it. All right, so what else are we going to get into? Well, obviously, I'm going to have my thoughts on a chair in a room, green water for PlayStation VR. Now, these are my initial thoughts of the game, not a review. You know, I haven't finished the entire game. These are my initial thoughts, but we'll get to that in just a second. First, let's get to some other news that we need to get to, and I need to get my Webinal browser together here, and I don't even think I haven't even refreshed any of these things. So hold on one second. Let me just get these things refreshed and loaded up and ready to go, and we will be in the mix. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let's go ahead and bounce over to Upload VR, and let's check out some news stories over here at Upload VR. And so here we are. And one of the news stories I wanted to get to, Arizona sunshine, okay? Unfortunately, the dream that I was dreaming, not fulfilled, y'all, not fulfilled. We are not getting Arizona sunshine on the Oculus Quest. At least that hasn't been announced. This is not what was announced. We're not getting Arizona Sunshine 2. I personally believe it is about time for number 2, but instead what we are getting is we are getting some story DLC, and it's coming this summer, and it is called The Damned. Arizona Sunshine, The Damned DLC. Now, this is going to be the largest story-based expansion to the shooter so far. You are going to assume the role of a member of U.S. Special Forces team that must reactivate a hydroelectric dam. And, of course, there's going to be zombies everywhere, and you're going to have to deal with that. Now, the thing is, we didn't really get a lot of information on this, other than the fact that this is coming. I got allergies, and now my allergies are all of a sudden kicking in terms of like I want to sneeze, but now I can't sneeze. Okay. Anyway, this damned DLC for Arizona Sunshine is coming, of course, to the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, Windows Mixed Reality, Pimax, Star VR, etc., etc. It is also coming to PlayStation VR, so that's good news as well. We do not have a final release date. We don't have a price. It is expected to come sometime around summer, and the PlayStation VR version is going to support the AIM controller, so that is good news as well. In bad news, okay, so this thing is on Upload VR. Like, Upload VR has this story, right? And so they're talking about it. They're like, well, you know, we don't have a trailer, but we do have 4 screenshots. And so I thought, okay, well, here's what I do. I go places, I get the screenshots, I put them into this program, and I make a little montage where I could pop it onto the screen. And I could say, yeah, we don't have a trailer for this, but, you know, we've got a number of screenshots. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. And I would do this little video thing, and I can't do it because all I have was 2 screenshots. I got this one, I got the other screenshot, but when I try to click on any of these screenshots, this website basically crashes. And I just screwed up the website by doing that. I shouldn't even have done it. But yeah, I click on these screenshots. It doesn't work. And the thing that sucks about this is, like, I went to Vertigo Games. I went to their Twitter. I went to their Facebook. I went to their website. And you go to any of these things, right? And it says, go to Upload VR. Upload VR has the full story. I'm not a fan of this, okay? I like Upload VR, I really do. And let's be honest, I lean on Upload VR like a mofo. Like, I turn to Upload VR all of the time. When I have a shit show where I don't have stories prepared, look at it's still not loading up. Like, the website basically, like, I don't know what they did here with these pictures, but if you try to click on these pictures, maybe I need to try it in a different browser or something, but the website basically crashes. And so I'm totally boned here as far as this goes. But I don't like it when these companies like do some kind of special deal with like, oh, go to this website to get the full story. You know what? Go ahead and have the full story on whatever website. That's fine. But I should be able to go to your Twitter feed or your Facebook page, and I should be able to get these 4 screenshots. Like, I shouldn't have... The only place I can get these 4 screenshots is Upload VR. And I can't even get it from them because their website is crashed. And that's kind of bull. See, look at a web page is slowing down. Yeah, a web page is slowing everything down because it freaking crashed is what happened. I don't even know if I can get back to it. But anyway, that is in the news. Arizona Sunshine. You know, good news that we're getting DLC, but where is the freaking sequel already? And where is the Quest version? I don't know. Okay, so as I wait for that website to not be destroyed anymore, let's go ahead and go back to our standard scene, because guess what, guys? We do have an announcement for a brand new VR game, and it seems like we're getting these announcements like every single day. There's a lot of stuff that's popping off, new games, we're seeing them all the time, games coming out of nowhere. It's a nice thing. Well, you guys remember that one studio, Archiac? They made that game Evasion. Okay, Evasion hit PlayStation VR. It also hit PC VR. I don't know how well it sold. It's kind of expensive, and I think that's part of the reason it maybe didn't sell too well. But they have a brand new game. It is called Freediver Triton Down, and I do have a teaser trailer for that. So let's go ahead and check out the teaser trailer for Freediver Triton Down. And let's check this out. Let me go ahead and find that now. And hopefully the page will have fixed by that point in time. Okay, so this is Freediver. All right, well, that is Freediver. That is Freediver Triton Down, and I gotta say, you know, watching this trailer, looking at the graphics, seeing how the gameplay works here, I think this is a great idea. I mean, we've already seen, how many times have we seen underwater games in VR? It works really good. There's something about VR and water that I don't know what, it works well. I think part of the reason is we already feel like we've got scuba masks on. So we already feel like we're underwater with our scuba masks, and it looks like you got a ship that is going down, you got to escape, and that kind of looks like Titanic. That looks pretty awesome. I'm really liking the way this game looks. And the real awesome thing about it is this is our very first Valve Index confirmed game. That's why it's coming out in May. No, I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. But isn't it weird that we're getting a lot of these announcements where all of a sudden, bam, a game is coming out in May? It's like, what are you talking about? May is like 7 days away or whatever. And, you know, we just got this trailer and it's coming out in the month of May. Valve Index launch titles, I presume. No, it's not a Valve Index launch title because we're not actually getting the Valve Index until sometime in June. And we're praying that that actually really happens like that. But this part right here, when they open this door, like, look at this part. That looks sweet. That looks sweet. Graphically intense, brah. Intense, brah. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our Webinal browser. I believe Upload VR has recovered. So let's go back here. So yeah, Upload VR has recovered. We're back in business. Freediver Triton Down is a VR game about surviving a sinking ship. And it looks like you survived, brah, because look they're out of the ship. This person got out of the ship, so I guess no need to play the game, right? Okay, not exactly. But yeah, this is coming from the developers of the co-op bullet hell shooter Evasion. They do have a 360-degree trailer for this, so if you got your Oculus Go ready, you might want to check that out in 360 mode and be able to check that out. Also, one of the things that we've found out about this is that it's going to be a tense and stressful VR experience similar to Adrift, but this time you're underwater instead of outer space. Also, the actual way that you move in this game, you're going to actually really be swimming in a way. Okay, it's called gestural locomotion. That is the way Archiac describes it. You're basically going to be kind of going like this, so you're going to be going like this to kind of swim around, which is kind of similar to the underwater swimming in Skyrim VR. So you're going to be swimming around like that. So be prepared for your freaking arms to start getting really tired after a while. Graphically, though, we're looking at a few screenshots here. Okay, these screenshots are actually working. Yay! Yay, these screenshots are working, but how do I close? Okay, so I just click on it to get to the different screenshots. Freediver, brah. Look at that. That looks dope. That looks dope. There's nothing like being in a ship that is going down to the bottom of the ocean, but you're also in a freaking raging inferno at the same time. That is beautiful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Freediver. Looks pretty good. We'll have to wait and see what the price is going to be on that and all those sorts of things. Okay, in other stories that are going on around the world, Wolves in the Walls, it's all over, is making its appearance at Tribeca. Tribeca, brah. Tribeca. Okay, what did I say about Tribeca? It reminds me of Jay-Z, and it reminds me of Alicia Keys and Robert De Niro and all the other little things that they said in that song about Tribeca. Okay, and so Wolves in the Walls is at Tribeca. There is a brand new trailer for this. Instead of me yapping about it for about 10 minutes, why don't we just go ahead and check out this trailer and see what it's all about? Remember, folks, these are the people that were originally in Oculus Story Studios. These are the people that made Lost, Henry, Dear Angelica. A lot of really interesting stuff, right? A lot of really cool stuff. They shut down Oculus Story Studios, much to our chagrin, very unfortunate. But the good news is Fable was born out of that. And they've been working on Wolves in the Walls. They've also been working on another thing as well. And so why don't we go ahead and check this trailer out and see what it's all about. So we're going to bounce back over to our standard scene here. I'm going to pump up the volume on I keep wanting to say driver. Freediver. Okay, so I'm going to pump up the volume on Freediver, and then we're going to check out some Wolves in the Walls. So we'll get to see this scene right here where the water comes rushing in. That's awesome. Okay, here we go.
You heard it too. You do, don't you? Hello. But up here, in the attic, the sounds were the loudest, especially in the dark. You did it! You got proof! We have to go show Mom.
You think there's what in the walls, dear?
Wolves.
Who told you there were wolves in the walls? Pig puppet?
No, but we heard them.
It can't be wolves, loopy.
Did you see that?
It can't possibly be wolves.
Because you know what they say.
When the wolves come out of the walls.
Everybody knows this.
You believe me, don't you?
Da 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 da. Ya da 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 da.
All right, well, that is the brand new trailer for Wolves in the Walls. It's all over. And this, of course, is at Tribeca right now. And you know what? The big thing about this, let's go back to the webpage here, is the number one thing I'm interested in. You know, I've heard about this a long time. I love this experiential stuff. I like the non-VR gaming stuff. I wish there was a lot more of it. I wish it lasted a lot longer. This stuff is going to bring in a lot of people that don't give a rat's ass about trying to have a character run around with a sword and a shield. There's a lot of people, you're never going to convince them to get into video gaming in any kind of way. And how are you going to get these people to put a headset on? Well, it's entertainment experiences like this. Non-gaming experiential stuff can bring in an entirely new set of potential people into VR, which has more people buying headsets, more headsets being sold, and then more stuff that we really want to come to us at some point in the future. So it's all related. We got to get some more of this stuff. But the number one thing I was interested in, I wanted to scroll all the way down and I'm like, okay, when am I going to be able to experience this? And no information, right? There is no firm release date for the entire Wolves in the Walls story, which will eventually include a third chapter and will last around 40 minutes altogether, which that's pretty cool. That's almost like a little short movie there. Or the other project that they're working on, which is Whispers in the Night. Okay, so we have no idea when these things are coming. That kind of sucks. I got to imagine, though, when it does come, it will probably be exclusive to Oculus for at least a brief window of time, because these guys are very, very closely related to Oculus, even though they are an independent studio. I'm sure Oculus is probably helping them out with funding for this in a major way, and so it will probably premiere on the Oculus Store before it ends up anywhere else. But that is Wolves in the Walls. You know, since we're on the subject of Tribeca, we might as well cover a little bit of the other Tribeca stuff. So let's see, I'm going to bounce over here. So this is the Oculus blog. And Oculus at Tribeca, a quartet of VR for good projects, plus narrative innovations from Fable Studio and Felix and Paul. So there's a lot of different things that they're showing off at Tribeca. We got this thing called The Key. The Key is a 15-minute room-scale VR experience with strong narrative structure, punctuated by moments of choice, yada, yada, yada. So I wonder, you know, when are we going to be able to check this out? It's called The Key. I like the fact that it's like a room-scale story. That's an awesome thing. That's a cool idea. That's a really good idea. Okay, we got this thing. It's called Children Do Not Play War. And so they follow a 12-year-old girl from Uganda as she plays a make-believe war game that hits a little too close to home. So this is probably going to be a 360 video. Not really into the 360 videos so much, but it's good to see this stuff anyway. Okay, we got this thing called Mercy. At the age of 7, Edith started to feel a pain in the side of her face. It grew into a tumor on her lower jaw the size of a lemon. Damn, this is pretty harsh. But yeah, there's a little thing for that. Girl icon, you know, another probably 360 video. So a lot of stuff like this. Wolves in the Walls, it's all over. We heard about that. Now, there's this thing called Gymnasia, and this is by Felix and Paul. Okay, and this is going to be a groundbreaking cinematic VR experience produced in collaboration with Clyde Henry Productions and the National Film Board of Canada. And it's going to blur the line between what's real and unreal. Gymnasia is a dark dream, unsettling, and weirdly wonderful. Okay, because this is Felix and Paul, I grabbed the trailer for this because I have a little bit of love for some of the Felix and Paul stuff. I think they do some good work here. So we're going to go back over to our standard scene. I'm going to pump up Wolves in the Walls, and we're going to check out the Felix and Paul Gymnasia. We're going to get a little sneak peek at that. So let's go ahead and turn this up and check that out.
You think there's what in the walls, dear?
Wolves.
Who told you there were wolves in the walls?
All right, well, that was Gymnasia. We didn't really get too much of a look at that, but it does look interesting. It looks like they're kind of going with like stop motion animation for this, kind of like how they did the old, Rudolph the reindeer stuff and stuff like that. Kind of has that almost like, what do you call it? A Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of that kind of a look, which that could be very interesting in a 360 kind of experience. Very interested to see how that works out. Another Felix and Paul production. All right, so now I should probably get on to A Chair in a Room. Let me go ahead and talk about that. So let me go ahead and find a trailer real quick for A Chair in a Room. Let's see, where do I have that? A Chair in a Room. So let me go into my folder here. A chair. Okay, here it is. A Chair in a Room. Okay, so I did play some A Chair in a Room yesterday after our show was over. I went in and checked this out. Of course, this did come out, I believe, on the 23rd. So it's been available for a couple of days. I think it's going for $25 right now on PlayStation VR, about $25. And this, of course, is A Chair in a Room by Wolf and Wood Interactive. Now, if Wolf and Wood Interactive, if it rings a bell, then you might think of that because they also did The Exorcist, Legion VR. And this was actually done first. Like A Chair in a Room Greenwater arrived very early in the life of the HTC Vive. Like it was right around at launch of, I don't know if it was on like launch day, but like within a couple of months of the Vive launch, this game was available on HTC Vive. Now back then, I was a scaredy cat. I was not touching VR I was not touching horror with a 10-foot pole because I was like, shit, am I going to have a heart attack if I go into a VR? Like, I didn't know. Like, who knows? You don't know, And so until I got used to VR a little bit, I didn't mess around with horror stuff for a while. So I never played this. I've always heard great things about it. For example, Gary Reckoner VR and Steve Bishop, VR Roundtable fame, they both have raved about this game, saying it was really good, a really good room scale experience. One of these kinds of games where it's like, really it's the suspense and the way they do everything, really cool. So that is A Chair in a Room. And so I've always heard good things about the game, never actually tried it myself. So now the game has finally made its way over to PlayStation VR, and I figure, you know what? Perfect opportunity for me to go ahead and try this game, check it out on PlayStation VR. So that's what I did yesterday. Now, I gotta say, okay, there's a couple of problems I have with this game. And some of it might be like user error or my fault, basically. But my first problem with the game is the controls are hard to get your mind around these controls. Like, I think I've finally started to understand how to control this game, but I've been playing it for a little while, and it's taken me a while to adapt to the controls because they don't really do like the Skyrim thing on PlayStation VR. They kind of have a different little style. Like you can do some snap turning. You also have like free locomotion that you can activate. You can crouch up and down, and so there's a lot of times where you have to hit the crouch button, you have to go down, then you have to hit the crouch button again to come up. and you have to hit, certain buttons to do your snap turning. And it's just one of these things where it's like, for a large portion of my initial play session with this, I kept thinking, oh wait, what button is it again? What button is it again? And so it took me a while to acclimate to the controls. So not necessarily the most amazing control scheme I've seen on PlayStation VR. Look, I know they're dealing with a difficult situation here. The PlayStation Move controllers were not designed for this sort of thing. And so they're trying to do the best job that they can. But I think I've seen better on PlayStation VR in terms of how to do controls. In fact, I was on the PlayStation VR subreddit, and somebody was complaining about the Exorcist Legion VR, which is also, of course, developed by Wolf and Wood Interactive. And they were saying that they were complaining like, these developers should know better, man. They should, shouldn't they have played Skyrim? Shouldn't they have played the Solus Project? Shouldn't they have played like Red Matter and some of these other games that have hit PlayStation VR? And they'll have a better idea of how to do like free locomotion on PlayStation VR using Move controllers and stuff. And, and so, yeah, I mean, in a way you would think they would kind of see what other people have done. But at the same time, I know how busy you can be when you're working on something and you just have like a singular focus. You're trying to bang something out. You're trying to work on it. And just taking any time out of your day to like go stop, relax, and go look at how other people made their games, you feel like you don't have time to do that. So I kind of understand that, because I've been in the same situation myself where I'm scrambling to put this show together every day. And I feel like I don't have time to just kick back and relax and see how to edit my videos better or something like that, and kind of like get better at something. Like, I feel like I'm always under fire. I got to do this show. So I can kind of relate to devs that are trying to bang out a game, because it's kind of similar in that way. Okay, so the controls are a bit convoluted. Other thing I'll say about it is, let's see, what else did I... Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about this is, do you have to play this game from beginning to end in one sitting? Because I didn't save my game. Like, I thought it would save my game. I played this game for a while. I was in this area. I ended up in a completely different area about an hour or so later. I was in a different area. I mean, not an hour, maybe like 30 minutes later or whatever. I'm in a different environment, a different area. And then I'm like an area like this, kind of, the backwoods of Louisiana, basically. And then I was like, well, I got to go to dinner. I got to turn this stuff off. I got to stop. And so I shut it all down. And then when I came back, I had to start over from scratch. So I don't know if I did something wrong, or is this game designed where you got to play through the whole thing in one sitting? I don't think so. But I couldn't find an option in the menus to just like save my game where I'm at and to continue where I left off. But maybe I did something wrong. It might have been user error on my part. Okay, now about the game itself. So a lot of people were saying, Anthony, this is probably not the best way to experience this game, because it is designed as a room scale experience, at least on the Vive it is. And on PlayStation VR, you're not going to get legitimate room scale, because you got that singular camera. If you block your Move controllers, you're going to screw them all up. That's a major problem, right? So I was concerned about that when I was playing this, but in playing it, I got to say, I still kind of felt that room scale vibe. And so I think it felt good. And the thing that I do like about this game, and it's something I've seen in a lot of horror games and a lot of thriller games in VR, is this idea that you're like trapped in a room and you have somebody that's talking to you and somebody that's like observing you, and you can't really see them. You can kind of get a glimpse of them, but you can't see them real well. And I think they did a good job of that. And like the different environments and stuff that they put you in, you're kind of like trapped in these small areas. You're searching around, looking around everywhere. You're trying to find clues. There were a number of times in this game where I was like about to bang my head against the wall because I'm looking for the clue to figure out, okay, how do I get past this point? And I was just about to give up and just say, F this shit. I'm pissed off. This is taking too damn long. Forget this. I quit. But like right before I got to that particular scenario, I finally solved the puzzle. And I was like, oh yes, I solved the puzzle. And then I moved on, and I was able to move on to that next little stage. And so that worked out nicely. The other thing that I really like about this is, and I've noticed this in a number of VR games, is like the use of like a glazed glass or a frosted glass or whatever you want to call it, where there's like a glass window and you can kind of see through it, but not really. And so you can see like figures moving behind it, but you don't have the details. And so you can't really you can't tell like, is that a man? Is that a woman? Is it a freaking monster? Like right here in this part right here, you're looking through that glass there. And so you see a lady, you can see a nurse. She's wearing a lab coat. You can see she's got like a green shirt on with like a white lab coat, but you can see she's blonde, but that's about it. That's all you can really see. And the beautiful thing about that is the resolution that we have in VR right now. It is high enough where that little trick is perfect. It works perfect. Like it looks like real life because it's a lower resolution, but you don't need the higher resolution because it's kind of like going through this blurred frosted glass. And they do that a number of different times. They also do it when you go over to the door. There's a regular door that you go over to, and it has a little glass window. And you're kind of looking out of that, and you can kind of see things out there. And you see things moving around, and then it's like, oh shit, you're seeing like some weird stuff happen. And then the other thing I got to say about this game, okay, so this is a minor spoiler. But we're talking about basically the first 5 or 10 minutes of this game, okay? So this is the very first thing that happens. She gives you these cups, okay? So if you don't want to hear any spoilers whatsoever, just wait about 2 minutes, put it on mute for 2 minutes and come back. Okay, so she gives you these 3 cups and there's a little ball, a bouncy ball. And she basically says, okay, take these 3 cups, hide the ball and like move the cups around, do your standard little move the cup around, like move the cup this way, that way, that way. Then take the cup off and tell me what you see. Okay, we're seeing it right here. See those 3 cups and see the bouncy ball? And that's the nurse right there. This is the scene that I'm talking about. This is very, very, very early in the game. And so you're taking the cup, you put it on the ball, you start moving them around and sliding them around, da-da-da-da. Well, guess what the first thing that I freaking see? The very first thing that I see, where there was a ball, there's now a freaking Black Widow. A Black Widow spider. And a realistically sized Black Widow spider. And I have an irrational fear of Black Widows. I don't know what it is. I've never been stung by a Black Widow, but there's something about Black Widows that scare the living crap out of me, and they always have. Somebody would probably, like if there's such a thing as past lives, like if we reincarnate and all that shit, I must have been killed by a Black Widow back in the 1800s because I've got like a ridiculous fear of Black Widows that doesn't make any sense. And so I'm moving the ball around and moving the cups. I lift it up. There's a freaking Black Widow. I throw the cup up in the air and the Black Widow goes flying in the air too. And I'm like moving away from it and I'm like, shit, I've got to do something with this puzzle. The game isn't going to move on until I do whatever I have to do with the goddamn Black Widow. And so I had to I had to actually pick up the Black Widow. And the Black Widow is like realistically sized. Like it's not a giant Black Widow. It's the size of like a real Black Widow. The only problem with it is it has the little red markings on the top of it where it's really on the bottom of the Black Widow. But basically, those are there's just a lot of little puzzles and stuff. And you're in these different environments. Bottom line, I can't rate this game. Here's what I'll say about it. I'm so early into it, I can't really say all that much about it. I would say right now, based on what I've experienced at the $25 price, I don't know that I could really recommend this except for like horror fans that like a suspenseful kind of a game, not like jump scares, but more like psychological horror and kind of like where you feel like you're going a bit crazy and then things kind of go weird, and it's kind of got this story-based environmental horror. It's an interesting story, interesting environmental thing. $25 is a bit pricey, not exactly dirt cheap in the world of VR gaming. But this is not a review. You know, I've barely scratched the surface of this thing. I got to play it a bunch more. I know it's not very long. It's like a couple hours long, right? So I kind of want to play the whole thing from beginning to end. But right now, like if somebody put me on the spot and said, Anthony, bro, should I buy a chair in a room? Yes or no? I would say, maybe not. Yeah, it's safe to turn the sound back on. Okay, so anyway, that is a chair in a room, green water. Not bad. It's definitely not terrible. But, you know, if it was $15, I'd say buy it straight up. But it's a price thing. And at some point, we got to sit down and we got to talk about this price thing. I got to have some guests on, and we got to talk about pricing. And how does pricing relate to our judgment of these VR games? Is it fair? Like, is it fair for us to think about pricing and make price such a big deal? Especially when, if we really think about pricing of games, games have never been cheaper. You know, games have never been cheaper. I was just listening to a podcast today where this guy was mentioning that freaking on the Nintendo 64, like when you bought like Star Wars Shadows of the Empire on the Nintendo 64, it was like $79.99. It was $80. And this is like 1997 or like 1996. I think 1997, like April of 1997, if I believe. Shadows of the Empire, $79.99 plus tax and everything. And here we are in the year 2019 and we're complaining about a game that costs $25. So it kind of seems ridiculous, and I'm sure the developers are like, oh my God, price again? We're really going to start talking. Like, I bet you if somebody from Wolf and Wood Interactive, if they were watching this right now, they'd be like, price again? We're really going to start talking about price? Like, God damn these people and their prices. But at the same time, I also remember when I was a broke mofo, and I still am a broke mofo, and I remember what it was like where I didn't get any keys. You got to buy all your games individually, and you got to be careful about it. You don't want to just throw money around everywhere like that. So pricing, it's a weird thing. But you know what? Speaking of pricing, ladies and gentlebots, we've got something in the news that is pricing related. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce over here, and this is Space Junkies. So I'm sure you guys have probably already heard about this. But this is also in the news, a developer update on April 24th. They're kind of talking about all the stuff that has been going on with Space Junkies. And one of the things that they talk about here is there's going to be a major Space Junkies sale. Okay, let me break this down. So they say, after listening to community feedback, we have made the decision to lower the price of Space Junkies by 60% for 2 weeks. Okay, the dates of the sale are as follows. Okay, I think this starts tomorrow. Okay, April 24th. Okay, so in Europe, if you have a PlayStation VR in Europe, the sale has already begun and it lasts until May 8th. If you are on PC platforms like Steam in Europe, the sale starts tomorrow on the 26th and it runs until May 10th. If you're here in the great US of A, on PlayStation VR or Steam or Oculus or whatever, the sale starts tomorrow, April 26th, and it runs until May 6th. And the price is going to be dropped dramatically by 60%. Now, the thing is, this sounds like nothing but great news, right? I mean, this is great news. What did I say when I played Space Junkies? I said the only negative thing I can say about Space Junkies is the price. I liked it. I liked it a lot. These games aren't my bag. I'm not a multiplayer guy. But the only thing I could really complain about, like it flowed really well. It worked really good. I had a great time when I was in there. But then I'm looking at the $39.99 price, and once again, here we are, the pricing discussion back to back. And $40 for one of these games, it's harsh, man. And so here's what they said right here. They say, we hope that the lower price will attract more players and make it easier to find a match at all times. We realize that some pioneers who have already purchased a game may be a little bit pissed off, basically, about this. Like, I could imagine, you know, if you bought this Space Junkies the day it came out, you paid $40, and then you got all these Johnny-come-latelys that all of a sudden are going to be buying it for way cheaper. I could see you being a little bit pissed off. You know, I might be a little bit pissed off as well. Well, the good news is they are going to give you 10,000 coins, an Easter egg, or an Easter helmet plug, dragon wings, whatever. I mean, they're giving you a little bit of stuff. So that's something. Also, they are going to be adding PlayStation Move support with smooth rotation. That is going to come to Space Junkies as well. So they're continuing to work on this. They're continuing to bang on this. So, you know, I mean, reviews are mostly positive. This launched back on March 26th, so we are a little bit later. I knew they were going to have to lower the price. Look, I knew this was going to happen. Now, what they're going to try to do is they're just trying to do this 2-week window for a couple of different reasons. Number one, they create a sense of urgency where they say, like, this is the price for 2 weeks. Get in while the getting's good, and then bam, it's going to go back to the $40 price. And so then that doesn't piss off people too much. They're keeping it like a little temporary thing. And they're trying to get just enough of a burst of new players to jump into the mix so that when the original pioneers, the people that paid the real money, when they log on and they're trying to play a game, there's going to be a game for them to play. Now, when I tried this early on in its availability, there was plenty of games to jump into. There was people playing. There was an active community. They were really into it. But, you know, over time, things change. But that is Space Junkies. Okay, let's see. What else have I not covered so far today? Well, we do have our daily deal, so let's go ahead and do that. Daily deal of the day is a daily deal that I'm really liking, and that, of course, is To the Top. This is one of my all-time favorite VR games, easily in my top 30 best VR games of all time. To the Top by Electric Hat Games. Really awesome. Okay, so the daily deal, it's going for $15. It's a 25% discount. Normal price is $10. It's not showing a countdown clock. So once again, Oculus is not really doing the daily deals quite the way I would like them to do. So yeah, I mean, it's like a 50-50 chance, you know. I got a 50-50 chance of like coming here and there being some kind of like where it actually says daily deal, and then other times I come here and it doesn't say daily deal. And so whatever. But anyway, this is To the Top, one of my favorites. Incredible game. Reminds me of like Arrow the Acrobat, Sonic the Hedgehog, or something like that, but you're in first person in VR and you're just flinging yourself through these worlds. I absolutely love this game. I know not everybody loves it. In fact, you can go to one of the episodes of Virtual Strangers. I don't know if it was their like second or third episode, but I'm not sure if it was Mame Fan or somebody that was like talking about this game, but I think Alex had tried it and was like, nah, this game didn't do it for me. It made me sick or whatever. And so, you know, different strokes for different folks, but I really like To the Top. Big fan of that. Okay, so what else is going on in the news? Well, let me go ahead and grab a little video trailer here and we can talk about something. So hold on a sec here. Let me go ahead and cue this up. Here we go. Okay, let's check this out.
Compete in a virtual reality game called Beat Saber. All right? Yeah. Now here's how. We have the Kool-Aid Man in the audience tonight. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! All right, we're gonna take turns using laser swords to slash targets to the beat of a song, and we'll see who can get the highest score. I'll go first. Please root for me, sir. All right, I'll go first, pal.
This for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that on.
Appreciate that.
Maybe step on your mark before you put it on because you won't be able to.
Okay, so this is a clip from last night, The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon and Brie Larson, and they are playing Beat Saber. And so a lot of people are talking about this, and, you know, we'll watch a little bit of this clip. We'll also talk about it a little bit. Okay, so here's Jimmy Fallon. He's going to play $100 bills. Let's go ahead and check this out for a minute.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Okay, so that's Jimmy Fallon. He kind of does his thing. And then, of course, Brie Larson, she gets in there and does her thing. And in chat, Dr. Freeman says, Brie Larson should disappear. Shirzad Khan City, please no Brie Larson. And also Shirzad Khan City, oh God, not her. And yeah, it's funny. So it seems like half of the internet just wants to kill Brie Larson on the spot. And then the other half of the internet, like, really loves her. It's a weird thing. See, I don't watch any of these Marvel movies, so I don't know what is going on. And Kevin says he's doing pretty good. Jan Red says, I love his dancing. I don't know. He, like, did that flip and spin around and all that stuff he was doing. And I almost wonder, like, was he really playing the game right there? Or was that, like, an elaborate marketing thing? Okay, so here's Brie Larson. Now, she's playing my favorite song on Beat Saber. So let's watch this for a second. This part's the funniest part right here. That's the best part right there. Main fan, time to cry, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that is my favorite Beat Saber song right there. I like that song, Escape. But yeah, so speaking to this, though, in terms of the bigger ramifications of this. So you know who told me about this video? I found out about this video from somebody that has like no interest in VR whatsoever, really. Like a buddy of mine that like barely knows about VR, but texted me out of the blue, like, VR was on Jimmy Fallon last night. That was the text I got from him, right? And so that's an example of, like, somebody in chat, who was it? I think it was Paradise Decay. Paradise Decay was like, does anybody really watch TV anymore? No, I don't. I don't watch TV anymore, but apparently there's people that do watch TV, right? And like my buddy, he watches TV. And I don't watch like regular network TV. I might as well not even have a television other than for like YouTube, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and video games, and maybe occasionally renting a Blu-ray or something, right? But there's a lot of people out there that still watch TV, and this gets awareness out there. People love Jimmy Fallon. Some people, half of the people on planet Earth, love Brie Larson. The other half hate her. And this is great for getting VR in the greater awareness out there, getting more people aware of VR. And so I think this is a good thing. And actually, one of the questions that I wanted to ask, so this is question of the day. So let me go ahead and bounce on my little question of the day thing real quick. Where is it? Question of the day. Okay, so here is my, is my cat? My cat's in the mix, but it's X-rated. Don't look at it right now. So here's my question of the day. Question of the day is, should Oculus, should HTC, should PlayStation, should some of these major companies that are involved in the VR gaming industry, should they maybe start leaning on celebrities and like showcasing celebrities playing VR, showcasing maybe sports stars playing VR, music entertainers, actors, actresses, miscellaneous celebrities. Should they lean into this? Because we haven't seen that much of it, and we've seen stuff like this back in the days. You guys remember Nintendo? They used to do those old DS commercials where they'd have like Beyonce or somebody, and they would kind of like take advantage. You know, they would utilize these celebrities to try to market stuff. And in the very, very, very early days of VR, we did have a celebrity that was marketing stuff. In fact, hold on a second. I'm going to go to my webby browser and see if I can look this up real quick, because we did have celebrities. I'm going to do a quick Google search. Hold on one second here. And if anybody in chat, so here, does anybody know the celebrity that I'm thinking of? HTC Vive. God, what's her name? Now I can't remember her name. Oh, okay, wait. I can't remember her name. Okay, who's a celebrity? Paris somebody. Oh, Paris Hilton. Yeah, okay, Paris Hilton and HTC Vive. Like, there's a picture of Paris Hilton, like, with HTC Vive. Here it is. Okay, I'll show you guys. Okay, so we'll go over to our webby browser. Yeah, so in the very, very early days, yeah, it was Paris Hilton. Laser Rob got it. Okay, in the very, very early days of HTC Vive, Paris Hilton was like talking about the HTC Vive and stuff. And we haven't really seen this very much. Like, can anybody remember like any celebrities that have like really gotten into VR and like kind of promoted VR or talked about VR? I'm assuming that like HTC Vive sent a free package of this to Paris Hilton and probably asked her if maybe she would talk about VR a little bit. You know, so I mean, do we have celebrities in VR? I got to be careful with some of these image searches here. But yeah, that's the question of the day. I mean, and whether or not Paris Hilton is still a celebrity, that is another question of the day, right? But the question is, should these different companies lean on celebrities and try to get VR, try to make it seem cool, brah? VR is cool. Because you know what? We do have a little bit of a problem in VR gaming where some people are conscious of like looking goofy and they don't want to look goofy. Like, I've literally been at birthday parties and stuff where I brought my Oculus Go to like a birthday party or some kind of gathering, and I'm showing VR off to a lot of people, and most people are really cool with it, but every once in a while I'll bring it over to somebody, they're like, no, I'm not putting that on. I don't want to look like a goofball. And I've literally heard people say that. They don't want to look like a goofball. And so one of the ways to make it seem like you're not so much of a goofball is to show like celebrities, sports stars, entertainers, like they're playing it and they're not tripping on it. They're happy, you know? And we have seen Oculus, like Oculus had a commercial. They had like Wiz Khalifa and like all these other people. They had, what's his name from The Voice, you know, the one judge from The Voice, and dude from Superbad. You know, they've had some different people on there. So, you know, I'm curious, should we lean into this a little bit more is kind of the question of the day. So some of the people, I don't think Trump has the stamina to do VR. That's Kevin. No, Trump is perfect health. He's the picture of health. And James McLaughlin says, at VR365, Fallon is a different story. I think he's a real gamer and is truly interested in video gaming, which bodes well. Yeah, that is true. Jimmy Fallon is legitimately a gamer. Like, he's always leaned into this video gaming stuff. And Ekin Hawk says, for God's sake, HTC, let's send this to Paris Hilton. What the F were you thinking? Okay, so this was like 2016 though. Ekin Hawk, this was 2016 that this happened. So this was a number of years ago. Paradise Decay says, Linus likes to promote VR. Yeah, is that a joke? Or he's just being facetious there. Elijah Woods. Yeah, Elijah Woods has been into VR. So some people are talking about some of the celebrities that Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Mark is not a celebrity playing VR, lol. But yeah, so Joe Rogan talks about the Vive a lot. That's Laser Rob. Speaking of Joe Rogan, oh, and Soldier Boy will have his own headset soon. That's Mr. Dimitrov. Speaking of Joe Rogan, now that I am back at work and I'm doing like my regular job and stuff and I have to listen to podcasts and stuff. Oh man, dude, Joe Rogan, his podcast, solid gold, man. Solid gold. Talks about some of the weirdest shit ever, but it's very entertaining and man, can it get you through the day. Look at my beautiful kitty cat. Do you guys see my beautiful kitty cat? Oh, kitty, kitty, meow, meow. Kitty, kitty, meow, meow. I call her baby. She's my sweets, my little baby sweets. So that's my cat back there. She's very cute. A little bit fat, but very cute. Okay, anything else I wanted to get into before I bounced out of here? Well, one thing I did want to mention really quick before I bounce out of here. Let's see, do I have it on the Webby browser? Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's go back over to our Webby browser. All right, so releasing today is Prose Enlightenment. This game is available today. Developer is Sign. Now, you might remember that I tried the demo for this, wasn't that impressed with the demo for it. Although I will admit, I think I tried the demo on my old hardware before I had, on my old computer, before I had a better computer. So maybe it would run better with the computer I have now. But the full game is out, Prose Enlightenment, although this is kind of an episodic type of thing, and this is basically the first episode. So this is what it says here. Enlightenment is the first episode in the Prose series. Prose is a VR survival adventure set in both past and present. It's a story of friendship and duty, fear and dignity of the people facing the Soviet government and its echoes. And so you're kind of like going to like some kind of like installation in like Siberia or whatever. And you know what? I was talking about this the other day. We were looking at some of these screenshots. Like that screenshot looks ridiculously dope. Like I don't know how I'm going to experience that in VR because it doesn't seem like that would work in VR. Look at that lighting right there. And then, that looks pretty cool right there too. And then, this was one of my backgrounds just a couple of shows ago. I used that for one of my backgrounds. That looks kind of cool in the snow and stuff. So this is available today. It is called Prose Enlightenment. The price is $20. It's 10% off. You can get it for $18 right about now. But here's what I wanted to say, guys. I am going to be playing this in a little while. I have this game right now. I have not played it yet, but I am going to play it tonight. I'm going to try to put a good amount of time into this. I think it lasts about 4 hours, but that was the devs saying that it lasts about 4 hours. So if you kind of take dev speak for what it is, maybe it's like 2.5 to 3 hours, maybe 4 if you're like looking at everything and you take a long time or whatever. So it might not be very long, but I am going to check this out today, this afternoon, and tonight. I will be taking a look at this game, and so I will report on this tomorrow. I'll give you my first impressions of Prose Enlightenment. So go ahead and look forward to that tomorrow. Okay, now the final story before we bounce out of here. It's already been over an hour that we've been doing this show, but you know what? I got one final story for you guys. And let's see, the final story is, well, basically everybody on the Oculus subreddit here. Okay, wait, let me go ahead and refresh this subreddit because it probably hasn't been refreshed. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Okay, so one of the stories that is going on here at the Oculus subreddit is this guy right here said, we just received a Quest demo at Best Buy. And there was a picture of a box. That picture has been deleted. And so there's just rampant speculation on what is going on here. Here's a link, like there's a second box, another Oculus demo box has shown up. And it says, unfortunately, no, they can only be opened by a third party, Oculus rep. Okay, so there's also these images are leaking out here. Select your headset, Rift or Rift S. So I don't know, guys. It kind of seems like something is very imminent. Connect your headset. DisplayPort or USB 3.0. So we're seeing some different things. It's starting to leak. Like things are starting to leak out here. Let's see. I'm just clicking on these things so I can see if I can actually get a picture of the box. And then people, of course, anytime you have a box and people don't know what is going on with the box, of course, you're going to get like the gif of Brad Pitt. What's in the box? What's in the box? You're going to get that, of course. That's standard issue, right? Anytime you have something in a box. But yeah, there's lots of speculation and lots of talk that is going on these various subreddits, on the Oculus subreddits about all this stuff. And so I got to tell you, now that boxes are arriving, folks, something is about to pop off. Something is popping off. I'm telling you, F8 all the way, baby. F8 all the way. So what is it? When is Tuesday? Let me look at the month of April. Let's look at the month of April. Okay, Google, April 2019. Okay, so let's take a look at April 2019, ladies and gentlebots. Let me click on this. So Tuesday, next Tuesday, guys, next Tuesday is when shit goes down. Okay, so next Tuesday, I can tell you what, all of a sudden, I feel like I'm going to have a dentist appointment right around 10 a.m. on April 30th, because I'm going to be driving over to the Best Buy in Sacramento, California, the closest one to where my job is, and I'm going to have a dentist appointment. I really hope that my supervisor is not a big VR fan and is not watching this right now, because I don't want to get fired, but I do believe that I am going to have a dentist appointment on Tuesday, April 30th at around 10 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, because I'm going to try to go buy my Oculus Quest and my Rift S, a 2-for-1 special. I heard that if you buy both of them at the same time, you get a free pair of headphones. Yeah! They should do something like that. They really should do something like that. Okay, but we're going to go back over here to our standard scene. Okay, so bonus question of the day. What is in the box, ladies and gentlemen? What is in the box? No, let's go back to the Webby browser. But yeah, that is what a lot of people are talking about here on the Oculus subreddit. What is in the damn box? And so it looks like they're getting ready for some kind of in-store demo. And then, of course, it'll be released on Tuesday. Rift S, Oculus Quest, celebrations all around. And everybody over there on the Quest, the Oculus Quest subreddit, you guys can just settle the F down and finally relax. It'll be so nice to have that particular subreddit just kind of like return to normalcy. It actually is not going to return to normalcy right away. It's going to take a couple of weeks for it to return to normalcy. And then you'll be able to go to the Oculus Quest subreddit and like actually look at well-reasoned posts and stuff like that. And you'll be talking about all the games that are currently available for Quest. What are the best games to buy? Everybody's reactions to everything. Man, it is going to be so freaking chaotic for like these next couple of weeks. And think about how many games I've got to try and give my impressions on. There's going to be like 50 freaking games that are arriving all at the same time. Imagine trying to review all these games. Oh my God, it's going to be crazy. It's just going to be freaking bonkers. And then there also might be some big games like Stormland. Like some people think Stormland is going to come out next Tuesday. Maybe it will. Who am I to say that Stormland isn't going to come on next Tuesday? Does my cat like VR? My cat is a little bit too fat for VR. Look at her, man. She's basically just laying out there. She's got her tummy exposed to the whole world. She doesn't realize that there's thousands of people watching her right now. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Look, I just woke her up. She hasn't had her lunch. She hasn't had her dinner yet. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, come here. Here, kitty, kitty. Want to be on TV? Come here, kitty. Come on, fat, fat. I call her Fat Fat too. Sweet Sweets. I call her Sweet Sweets. I call her Fat Fat. That's my baby Fat Fat. She's a good kitty, aren't you? Yes, you are. You're a good fat kitty. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. Next Tuesday is going to be awesome. It's going to be very expensive, but it's also going to be awesome. Alrighty, guys. Well, I need to get the hell out of here. It is time for my afternoon cup of coffee. Fat needs to get fed. And I need to play some Pros Enlightenment and check it out. I'm hoping it's good. Full screen the kitty. Well, I wanted my kitty to come over here because I could lift her up and show her to you guys. But yeah, she's just kind of chilling over there. But all right, we'll check out everybody tomorrow then, I guess. Remember to go ahead and hit that like button. Remember to subscribe and remember to donate millions of dollars. Because I mean, come on, how am I going to buy the Quest? How am I going to buy the Rift S? Money don't grow on trees. I need donations, y'all. Donations. Not you, Sarin. You've already donated. A lot of people have already donated, but if you've never donated, maybe donate $2 to my Oculus Quest fund, my Rift S fund, and my dentist appointment randomly happening on Tuesday, April 30th fund. It'll all be beautiful, right? All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be starting at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and I'll be talking about Pros Enlightenment and other stuff like that. All right, so we'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good one. Take it easy. Later.